Hey everyone, this is Pedro, and today we're exploring how to harmonize a melody using a more free and fluid approach, breaking away from the notion that your chords must always belong to a single key. Each technique has its own musical vibe, and this one can yield a more modern sound for two reasons. One, constantly borrowing chords or colors that don't belong to the current key. And the other reason is the ambiguous harmony achieved through quartal voicings and chord suspensions. I will be walking you through the step-by-step process for achieving this harmonic freedom in your own arrangements. And with no further ado, let's dive in. When harmonizing the melody, I start by identifying specific points where I can clearly hear certain chords or where harmonic direction feels essential. I don't harmonize from start to finish in sequence. Instead, I focus on these key points, which ultimately guide the flow of the piece. I find that this is one way to go about the harmonic direction, but also about being aware of where the harmonic surprises are going to happen in the overall arch of the music piece. Here's what my first pass at harmonizing the melody looks like. After I am done, these will become my target chords, acting like beacons that I must steer toward. And this is true not only for the in-between chords, but also for the purpose of creating the bassline melody, as we'll see further ahead. And this also opens up a lot of possibilities that range from using voice leading or substitute dominants to fill in the gaps, as I usually say. This short piece is divided in three key moments. The beginning, which works like an intro, where I build a melody through sequences, or in other words, by transposing certain parts of the said melody. For that reason, I also decided to keep the same chord type and transpose it alongside with the transposed melody bit, a half or a full step up, as you can see highlighted in red. By the way, if you struggle with harmonizing melodies, check out my online course, Mastering the Art of Harmonizing Melodies, where I take you from the initial steps of the process up to an advanced level. The link is in the description. For the next two sections of this musical example, the melody is locked in the key of D major, and I use the same process throughout. First, the target chords to define harmonic direction, then, on a second pass, the bass line, and only after that I added the rest of the harmony. To add surprise and color, I intentionally chose bass notes outside the key of D major. These off-key notes usually approach target chords by half step, or create interesting relationships with the upper melody, as you'll see. Here's how it sounds like after harmonizing with those off-key bass notes in place. Those chords are labeled in red, green are for target chords, and orange for connector chords. And just for good measure, here's how the same section could sound when harmonized only with chords from the same key. For me, there's some spice missing. It's more normal, not bad, but more restricted in comparison. Throughout, I chose chords based on color and smooth voice leading, even over bass notes that were in the key. If a chord can support the melody at that spot, it's a candidate. And this is why I always emphasize the importance of ear training, so you can distinguish between the different chord types, like the major, minor, augmented, diminished. It will help you a lot in the process of choosing chords. Aside from the intro section, and as you may have well noticed, labeled in the keys track, I ended up harmonizing or reharmonizing the repeating parts of the melody. This process happens throughout the whole piece. This reinforces how versatile and effective this approach can be, even for reharmonization purposes, expanding your color palette over similar materials. Sometimes musicians may fall in the habit of harmonizing melodies strictly from start to finish, thinking every chord must directly follow the previous one in the same key. And as you saw, it doesn't have to be this way. Another myth is that using off-key notes will sound wrong or too experimental. In reality, breaking out of strict linear harmony and welcoming unexpected notes can add excitement and freshness to your music. The method I've shown you today helps you escape these traps. By setting target chords and using creative bass movement, you give your harmonization both direction and character, without being stuck to old conventions. And before we hear the piece in its final arrangement, let's quickly review the 4 core steps for harmonizing a melody with maximum freedom. 1. Create a melody. Stay in key or adjust later. 2. Harmonize key points. Start with spots where you hear chords or want something important to happen. 3. Craft the bass line. Use off-key notes to connect the target chords if desired. 4. Fill in the gaps. Add the remaining chords, focusing on what fits and colors the melody best. If you want to dig deeper, check out the Beyond Music Theory book or my online harmonization courses. All the links are in the description. If this video helped, please like and subscribe for more. And if you made it this far, here's the full piece all put together. Thanks for watching, and until next time.